Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spiritual Journey podcast. My name is Nimesh and I'm your host. I always love starting every episode by saying thank you. I feel so blessed with this podcast, the impact it has, the people it reaches. I started it as a passion project, but now I do 2 episodes a week, and everything's channeled, nothing's scripted, nothing's edited, and I love it. So if you're a regular listener, welcome back. Thank you for your support. If you're new, then welcome. Let us know if you have any feedback. Feedback's always a blessing. I am an Akashic record reader, Akashic trainer, podcast host, podcast creator, as well as a spiritual coach and mentor. What I love to do and what I get to do is I guide you on your journey. I hold your space, really help you to understand you, releasing any layers you're holding on to. I do that through a beautiful mentorship program. And actually in the mentorship program right now, I'm including Akashic training, and through this podcast, through Akashic Records, through whatever medium, whatever way I'm allowed to. So I love what I get to do. But also with this podcast, I get to interview some amazing guests. And I'm excited to have Sally back on this podcast. She was on just under 2 years ago, and we had such a beautiful flowing conversation. So Sally, I'm excited to have you back. And I'm sure we've been through multiple rebirths since we've spoken, but I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sally Reid. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I have spent the last 20 years helping people make friends with themselves.
Beautiful.
Because what's interesting is when you boil it down, you're not being very nice to yourself when you're out of alignment.
Wow. So simple. So simple. I always love starting every episode by just talking about the current energy and what you're feeling. I feel like we're going through such a shift, and so everyone's going through it individually and shifting from divine masculine to divine feminine. And I feel like it's such a blessing to be here right now, but also I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot of things. But I'm curious, what are you feeling? What are you seeing?
Well, you know what it looks like? There's this place where the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean meet, and it's very, very unhappy. They're very unhappy with each other, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like right now. This timeline feels, or not even the timeline. It's just this it's like a tectonic plate of shifts, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But just like we talked about last time, the one thing we can be certain of is everything is going to change. Nothing remains static. And so just wait. It'll change.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And, I feel the disconnect is also the disconnect between the human and the soul. I feel like the soul is ready to shift. Spirit is ready to drive, and the human's like, wait, I need to understand this. I need to control it. I need to know what's going on. But yeah, so how have you been since we last spoke? What's been happening in your world? Anything you want to share?
Well, I have been getting, we talked about last time how I like to make everything simple. I have gotten things so boiled down to the essence that pretty much anybody can understand. Because my role is actually as a teacher, not really a healer. Just like I said, I help people make friends with themselves any way possible, because in teaching, it's not about me. It is completely about the person I am teaching and whether or not they understand the information that's being offered. And what's interesting, and I've thought about this for a while, I'm kind of like a teacher and a waitress, because I can bring you the information, but I don't really care if you eat it, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And I kind of see myself as similar. I'm not here to fix anybody. I'm not here to, I don't tell anybody what to do. I'll share what I feel. If you like it, great. If you don't, it's not on me, right? It's that, it's that nobody needs fixing. So beautiful.
There is a song that was very popular. I live in Nashville, right? And so Nashville turns out a lot of songs, and there's one
for sure.
That you can feel bad if it makes you feel better. That's been kind of the watchword of my teaching, is like, you can do that. You're free to do that. But here's an alternative if you choose.
That's why I really feel that, we are is the bridge. giving people another choice, not forcing them to be on the bridge, right? But it's almost like we're waving, saying, "Look, here's a different way of being if you want to be." But
Well, a lot of times people have these tunnel vision glasses. And I've noticed that the glasses are based on, the what they believe, what has been trained into them to know what's available for them. And so the one question that I always ask them that breaks through everything, and it's the first question: is that true only for you? Is it true for every human on the earth? And the minute they go, oh, wait, it's not true for every person on the earth, I said, that means there's a possibility it can be different for you too. And that usually just puts a crack in it right away, just that quickly.
wow, and he's just yeah, he's just challenging reality, right? So I don't want to assume that everybody's heard the previous episodes. So Sally, I'd love for you just to give an overview of your journey, kind of what you've been through, anything you want to share in your heart.
Certainly. Um, well, we started out the last episode talking about how I have a ridiculous memory that can remember things like learning when language turned on and learning how to walk and remembering the quote unquote lessons that I was taught as a child through, punishment. And that's the way most children are taught, is you get punished when you do bad, but you never, or you rarely get told when you're doing right, at least our generation, right? Maybe the new generation is doing a better job of teaching people what's right before they punish what's wrong. Even so, that tends to cause people to create rules around safety. I'm only safe if I do this. I'm only safe if I do that. And so my journey has been about exploring the cues that either I'm picking up, or some people call them triggers, but the cues within my body, so I can understand what might be the misalignment that I believe is true. Because we all learn how to be human before age 7, and then we spend the rest of our lives figuring out how to undo that. You know?
I love it. Yeah, it's so true. It's interesting. I talk a lot about as babies, we're kind of NLP experts. We cry, we get attention, we get love, and we're very present. And this human journey, really, what we're trying to do is be present, be back to that that baby that's so present, doesn't not worried about what's happening tomorrow, what's happening about next week. It's just about that moment.
Bringing back that childlike noticing is the key to understanding, but also letting yourself off the hook once in a while is also helpful. And knowing that, everybody is should and have doing, in order to ascend to this spiritual height, this perceived spiritual height that is being taught, let's all get to nirvana. But, I've got a secret for you. After having experienced death, not once but twice, I can guarantee you it is all handed to you on a silver platter 2 seconds after you die. You are given all of it as a gift, and you don't need to work for it.
I got goosebumps. You're given everything 2 seconds after you leave this realm. That's so beautiful.
You don't even have to leave this realm. I remember looking down at my body going, oh man, and then all of a sudden going, oh, everything is beautiful.
Yeah,
that transition period.
yeah. It's just like it's so that's so you know in the moment, right? It's just we carry so much energy and vibration on this planet, and it's just like in this human life, and in 2 seconds, everything's free. I love it. So yeah, please do
But
tell us about your. Go on.
well, I was going to say the hilarious part, though, is the alive part is the good part. Even though the dead part is so much fun, the alive part is actually the good part. We just haven't figured out that. Well, some of us haven't. Some of
Yeah,
us have, because we're spending a lot of time focusing on what's wrong and needs fixing rather than what's right and enjoyable. That's all. Just that slight change the dial just a little bit, and it'll be
yeah.
better.
I mean, thing is that we do complicate this life, right? I don't feel spirituality is complicated. I feel it's really simple. Kind of focus on the moment, spend time in nature, just be. I didn't say it was easy. because sometimes we go through hard things, but I don't feel it's complicated. And but I'd love for you to talk about and share um, any one of your near-death experiences and kind of
Sure.
what you went through. And I feel like a lot of people fear death, and I mean, I don't. I'm just, whatever I go through. But I feel like it may help some people just to understand your experience. I'd love for you to share.
Certainly. Well, first, I want to stipulate that death doesn't hurt. I mean, even though the what had happened to my body was ostensibly painful, I wasn't there to feel it. It didn't hurt. So if people think, I have a theory that maybe people are remembering how much it hurts to be born, because it is actually fairly painful to be born, but it is not painful at all to leave. And I don't know how to explain it. It's funny, you also mentioned Akashic Records. So I'm going to talk about the first death.
Sure.
The first death was, I was very young, and right around the age of 3-ish. And it was fairly standard, go to the light and meet the people and all this stuff. But the interesting thing is the records. I may have mentioned that, like I have memories of past lives and all the other stuff. I got to see that, the past life stuff.
Oh
I
wow.
maybe didn't remember a lot of it, but I also was, told by my grandmother, oh, they made a mistake. It's time to go home, kind of a thing. And then boom, I'm back in my body, awake in the hospital bed, in, where the nurses wear the white caps. Remember those white caps and the little pennies that they wore, that white pinafore? Do you
Different
remember
world.
that?
Yeah. Different world.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing the nurse and telling
Oh
her
wow.
how I had
Mm.
died, and we talked about what happened, and she was nodding like, yes, this happens all the time.
Wow. I love that.
But what's interesting is this happened for years. Before we started, listeners, um, I mentioned that I have a bad habit of astral projecting and taking off. And I think it's just that I had passed away so early that it was easier for me to escape.
Mm.
But what I used to do as a little child is astral project and then hitchhike on, tag along with a soul that had recently passed, going directly to the records.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You used to
I
do
did
that? You
that.
don't do that anymore?
Oh gosh, it's terribly rude. But I didn't know any better. I was a child, but it's really
Yeah.
rude. And I did get caught, and I didn't get punished, but I certainly got embarrassed. It's like, what are you doing in here? You're living out, kind of a thing.
I love it. I love it. Sending you to the
Because you're
naughty
not
corner.
really, you're allowed to view and
Yeah.
read and have, like, when I work with Akashic Records now, and I expect you do too, there's just sort of a knowingness, and it's handed to you,
Yeah.
right?
It's simple. It's not complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very simple. But when you are a soul receiving it, it's a much different process. It's almost like a presentation. It's almost like and you do have a guide, more than one guide. And it's like they're there to hold your hand, because as a soul, a lot of times you've forgotten it. It's a very different process. So that is private, and it's rude if you are encroaching on it. But people who work with records, who are living, understand that, you open that page and we talk about it and then close the book,
Yeah.
right?
And it's sacred,
Mm-hmm.
protected. Um, yeah, and I
You
couldn't
can't
agree
just
more with that.
rifle through, oh yes, I see, and then, it's rude
Yeah,
and protected. You're right.
yeah, and it's a gift to be able to access that kind of information. And I would, yeah, it
I didn't
doesn't necessarily
realize
need
that when I was a
protected. Yeah,
child, though.
yeah, of
Children
course,
don't
yeah, and
realize
that's
things like
the
that.
yeah. But there's only one way you're going to learn, right? It's that freedom of So when you had that experience, did you feel like it was a choice? You said your grandmother's there, so it's too early, but do you
No, I
feel like
didn't.
it's a choice? Hmm. As
No, in fact, I remember that one of the very last things is I was about to have a 2-year-old temper tantrum, saying I didn't want to go back.
yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah.
Yes,
So
like, "Meow."
Yeah. Oh, I'm in charge. I want to go. I want to go there. Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah,
So,
you know how 2-year-olds are. They're so in the moment, and they had no guardrails. And it was just completely like that. It was a full 2-year-old experience of all now, all the time. And it was a great, um, I guess, a moment for me because I was able to keep the relationship with my grandmothers, both of them.
mm,
And it was, it also made me not think I was any different or special than any other human on the planet. I thought this was a normal way to be. Of course, we all talk to
yeah.
our grandmothers. No, I mean, it doesn't matter they died in 1939. We talk with them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's coming more and more normal. Whatever normal means, right? Who knows? Who knows what normal
There is no
means?
normal.
Yeah, I do.
There
I
is
do
no
want to
normal.
die. Yeah, exactly. Who wants to be normal anyway? You know,
Mm-mm.
we're all here to be extraordinary, right? So, normal's boring. Um, there is something you mentioned I want to dive into about how living is a blessing. You know, I don't know what word, I can't remember the words you used, but it's that
It's
you
the
know, being
gift.
here at this time, it is a gift. I do feel that. I do. I'm feeling that more and more, and I'm just, you know, I feel like any soul that's here right now is chosen, is meant to be here as part of this transition. But I'm just curious how do you feel about that? Do you
I may ruffle some feathers on this. Is that acceptable?
of course, please do.
Okay. There are many dogmas in spirituality that say, you know, we're here to learn and grow and we're here to do all this stuff. And I'm going to yes and that in the full improv way.
Sure.
What we are here to do is to figure out, I hate to say this, how not to be such buttheads to everybody and not to feel so self important that only, you know, to change our view from I to we. That's
Okay.
literally all we're here to do.
That's beautiful. I agree.
And so the progression you see of somebody's soul as they change their view from I to we is exactly like the growth of a human. As a toddler, it's all me do, I do. And then we figure out family and we're as a cohesive. And then supposedly, if you become a full adult person, you understand that we are all family and we all have equal value. And that's the same, ironically, maybe not ironically, aligns with spiritual growth.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we're
So
all.
essentially, spiritual growth is get over yourself and have fun. That's why I'm saying I might ruffle some feathers.
I don't know. That feels pretty normal to me. I always say I know nothing. You know, whatever I share comes from a different place. It's not me. I don't. I'm not undervaluing the vessel, but at the same time, I'm not overvaluing me. I'm just part of this journey. So, you know,
Yeah,
so
my guides gave me these tenets of you know, like what we're supposed to notice in life, and they're so simple. There's 6 of them. Do you want me to go through them real quick?
please do. Yeah, please do.
Number 1, in your journey, you are sovereign. You're the architect, the operator, the final authority. It's your experience, right? We're sovereign.
Yeah,
Number 2, struggle is a feature, not a flaw. I'm like,
that's
oh
yeah, very
man,
true.
really?
Yeah, yeah, we chose
And
this.
the next one is everything is binary. Either it is or it isn't. Humans make everything gray, right? Either it's there or it's
Mm,
not. Either it's right or it's not. Either
yeah,
it's valuable or it's not. It's literally binary. We're not saying black and white thinking. We're seeing, is it a 1 or a 0? Is it present or not present? You can take it all the way down to that.
well, yep,
And then the next one is you create your own meaning. So nothing means anything until you tell yourself what it
yeah,
means.
yeah. I couldn't
The
agree more.
next one is
Nothing's good or
change
bad.
is not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good or bad. Yes, you tell
Besides,
yourself
yeah,
what it means, and then you believe it. The next one is change is not time based. It can happen all at once or forever. And then finally, the whole point, number 6, is you aren't the center of the universe. You are a piece of the universe in flow. And those are that's what my guides have given me to teach, essentially.
That's so, yeah, I don't want to downplay it, but it's actually so simple.
It's so freaking simple. It's like, and it encompasses all spiritual teachings, every single one of those.
Yeah.
And it just boils it down to the essence.
Yeah, because, you know, we are here to expand. We are here to learn. Nothing's good or bad unless we give it that meaning. You know, it's just, I couldn't agree more. All of it resonates so deeply. So thank you for
Although
sharing.
people are going to fight with us about it, it will ruffle feathers. Why would you say that this that happened to me is bad? Well, you decided it was bad and it can be bad, but that doesn't mean you need to hold on to it because it's
No,
either a 1 or a 0. And so if it's a 1 in your life, you can make it a 0.
and you know, I get trigger people too with something similar. It's like I'll always say, you know what, whatever's happening to you, it is serving you. It's like if you're going through something painful, you're like, wait, what? You know, is this? You know, but you know, sometimes the understanding comes afterwards, right? When you're in it, it's really hard to,
Considerably.
yeah. So you know,
When one
just
gets to look through the fullness of years, as we have been given that gift, we can look back and notice that so many things that we thought were the worst things in the world, the end of our lives, were absolutely perfect. It was and it was what I called little dope slaps from God, like stop it.
yeah. The way I say it is like the universe gives you a little nudge when you don't listen. The universe gives you a little push, and when you don't listen, universe gives you a slap or a kick, whatever you want to call it, right? It's that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we need that, right? Um, Part of this journey,
And
right?
the perspective is, ask yourself, is this a 5-hour, 5-day, 5-month, 5-year problem? And all of them can be resolved in a moment,
Yeah,
as in tenet number 5. Change is not time based.
yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you know, I always say time is a human concept, right? Who knows, right? I mean, who knows how many parallel lives we're running at the same time? You know, who knows, right? It's all fun, and time right now is so weird. Things are going feels like it's going so quick, but at the same time, we go through so much in a short space of time. It's kind of an interesting time to be on this planet for sure.
It is. It is. It's my guides are talking about being akin to the shifts that were present during the transition between the Renaissance and the like dark ages. It's that
Mm.
shift, only probably more so. It's all of a sudden the light comes on.
Yeah, yeah, and I do feel. I mean, so I feel with this shift, the planet is going through such a change, and we have a choice whether we let the noise on the planet consume us or do the, you know, be present and do the, you know, like the 6 laws you mentioned. And I don't, whatever you choose is perfect. You know, I'm not here to tell anyone to make a choice, but I do feel like everyone's going to have a choice. Is that something that resonates with you? How do you feel?
Um, what I've noticed is people either see or they don't see, and it's perfect. And
Yeah.
there are a number of people, unfortunately, they do have power in our lives, at least if you're an American, um, who don't see and who can't see.
Hmm.
And do we, butt heads and fight? And I think Mother Teresa had the best thing to say about that. Is when they asked her to go protest against the Vietnam War, she said, I will happily rally for peace, but I will never protest against war. And that's all we're called to do,
Hmm.
is rally for peace. Peace in our hearts, peace in our world, peace in our countries. Just that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say send love to where's needed, but also focus on things that you can change. And that's, you know, that's because otherwise we get lost in things and we become martyrs for causes. And it's like, well, as long as you're doing the internal work, because
Well, there's going to
sometimes
be a
through
lot of
that,
people say that if it weren't for us, if it weren't for our causes, if it weren't for us fighting, where would you be? You monks sitting on the mountain. We're here living life, and I'm going to tell them everybody has their journey. How do you know that in previous lives we weren't on the battlefield? We weren't fighting. Maybe we learned that fight
yeah,
is
yeah,
hard and not, whatever, right?
yeah. And when sometimes your journey is to tough fight those causes, and it's okay. Do what you feel is right. There's no right. Who are we to tell everybody what's right or wrong? We have our truth, and it's our truth. You can use our light to maybe guide you, or you don't, and that's okay. What would you advise people? Let's say they listen to this and they are going through a shift and they are feeling, like, why would our soul pick this journey? Why would we go through so much pain? What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, the why me. And I'm going to stipulate that 100% of us start there.
Mm,
We do.
that's true. Yeah,
We all start with the woe is me, why me? This is bad news. Why did you pick me to punish me, God?
yeah,
And I want to stipulate that while you may be experiencing it, you also needed it on some level to change, because most humans do not change unless it hurts. That's all. And so if you discover how that pain is, like, for example, you date the same guy over and over again. A lot of girls do this.
it's a
How
cycle.
does it serve you? How does that relationship serve you? Well, it teaches you what you don't want. Didn't you discover that the first time you didn't want it? Oh, I need to go back in a more global look rather than granular. It was that guy's fault. It was this guy's fault. So actually, what you're being taught is how to extrapolate and understand that you can steer the boat. So that could be your first lesson. You get to steer the boat. You you,
Yeah.
you know, I was talking to a client the other day, and she was saying, "Oh my gosh, why is there blah blah blah?" Right? And I said, "Girl, get out of the back seat, get in the front seat, drive the car."
What was the response?
She was like, "You mean I can drive?"
It's so true. It's just because I actually believe in repeat cycles. What I believe is a different level of learning. So it's like if you have dated a similar sort of guy in multiple times, then you've got to ask what your lesson is in that experience. And but I do feel like sometimes our guides have jokes, right? They do like to expand us with humor. Um, but yeah, it's all part of it.
It is
And
true.
yeah, it's interesting, right? The technology. While we're talking, the energy is up and down. I feel it. So it's definitely a channel conversation. It's definitely so if you're listening to this and there's some gaps in whatever, then just know it's part of the channeling, part of whatever's coming through.
Yep. It's a phenomenon that we who channel all must learn to live with.
Yeah.
That it is
Keep.
possible to knock things out electronically with vibrational energy, even though we have grounded, because grounding prevents it. But
Yeah.
and I feel like at this juncture, giving people like a lifeline and saying, no, you're not here to suffer. Even though the first tenet of Buddhism is life is painful and suffering is your choice. That is such a hard truth to hear when you're first starting. So instead, I would say, when you are suffering, simply say, what about this am I learning? What are all the things I'm learning? And you can list them all. Some of them are negative, but maybe one or two are positive. And if you move towards the positive learnings, that will help you get out of the hole.
Couldn't agree more. Changing your question is so powerful. When changing from the why me to how is this serving me, whatever questions come to your mind, but that's where you increase your awareness, right? From awareness, you can go to acceptance. But it's
Well, noticing is changing. Well,
yeah,
for some people it is.
yeah. Well, whenever you're ready, right? Whenever you're ready, who knows? We're all on this fun human experience, right? So, but I'm curious,
Well, a
what have
lot
you
of
been?
us are sensitive and we find ourselves filtering out. We can't take in too much information at once, so we're going to filter it out.
Yeah,
So we're just going to hand that back to the person. It's not that you can't hear it. It's that when you hear it, your body sets it aside and it doesn't resonate yet. That's all.
yeah. And
We're
when it's
not saying
ready,
that you're being a stupid poo-poo head for not hearing what we're saying. We're saying that,
there's a divine timing to everything, right? I
yeah.
don't think anyone's used poo poo head on this podcast before. But anyway, I love it. I love it. You're not being a poo poo head. There you go. Hope that helps somebody and hopefully brings a smile to your face because this life can be fun. It doesn't have to be all serious, right? Because sometimes on the spiritual journey we like to make it very serious, but
That's why the guides laugh at us so much or with
yeah,
us or tell jokes. One of my favorite jokes was I have this guide that loves to cook and
nice.
I download recipes and I've never made it before, but yes, when I just wave my hand in the spice cabinet and my guides will say that one. And I'm like, okay, how much?
That's
We'll
it.
tell you when. And I'm not even reading the labels. I don't even have my glasses on. It comes out delicious. And one day I was saying, oh my gosh, you were right. And they're going, yes, I know. We're omniscient. And you're like, okay.
They definitely have a sense of humor for sure. Yeah, I love it.
They definitely do.
I love it. So Sally, tell us what have you been up to over the last couple of years? What's shifted for you? What are you working on? What's different for you over the last couple of
Well, I've
years?
written a book.
Nice.
It's in the editing phase. It's called the Bliss System, and it goes through a system that it's kind of an operating system that helps you climb your levels of noticing.
Mm,
B and it's all questions. Like B stands for beliefs. What do you believe about this? Can you verify that it's true for you, or is it only true for you, or is it true for it runs through all these things, and then the L stands for listen to what you are saying to yourself. Listen how you talk about yourself. Listen, you're going to give yourself clues about your true hidden beliefs back there. And the I is, of course, allow the intuition of your body and of your senses to inform you what to pay attention to, right? And the S is cut through and see what you're really seeing, how to verify what you're seeing. And the final S is forgive yourself, but you're going to have to start again and give yourself credit for starting again. And so it's that literally that's spiritual journey 101. BLISS. That's it.
wow. I love it. And what if life can be bliss?
Well,
So,
the interesting and the funny thing about bliss isn't about life. Bliss is about being present, but allowing. And getting to that level is hard. We're just going to
mm,
use that word. It's hard. So the next step is the S part, the final S. Give yourself the grace to screw up. Because most of the time we feel really crappy because we're beating ourselves up. And if
yeah.
we just leave that part off, life automatically increases in its bliss.
Yeah. And then what if you can't make a mistake? What if you can't screw up? What if everything you've been through is just part of this journey and it's not good or bad? Who decides what's good or bad? Who decides what's to screw up? Isn't it interesting?
That's true. But we do tend to judge ourselves. And so I was meeting the people where they are. You can't
No.
say, oh my gosh, it's perfect no matter what you do, because people at a certain level are going to go pshaw, essentially. You're full of garbage, and then turn off. And so, as I said at the beginning, a teacher must convey information in a way that the student can learn. And so letting yourself off the hook is the first step of
Yeah.
understanding that everything is perfect. And it all
Yeah. And
shows up
also,
in divine
yeah.
timing.
For me, what helps when I'm working with people is to take them back to a previous screw up. Kind of like, and actually, what did you learn from that screw up? Was it really that big a deal? And it's like putting things into perspective like that. I feel helps people in the present moment. I don't like going back too often because I feel like it's the present moment where the magic is. But sometimes your history is also your teacher, right? If you're open to it.
Yeah.
So
This system actually helps people uncover past life issues as well as current life issues.
nice.
Um, you understand, like the epigenetics studies, about people having issues, either from a relative's issues or their own previous lifetimes. And I have a lot of compassion because I actually suffered with that for a minute or
Mm,
two until I realized, oh, it's not what happened, it's what I learned about what happened.
yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's the learning, right? So
Yep.
so have you got an estimated release date? Do we know when we can expect this
We
book?
believe it'll be next year, early
Okay.
2027. We
Beautiful.
do.
We look forward to it. We look forward to it. And
Hopefully. It's a complete, it's designed to be a self-help book, just a simple roadmap. You can fill in your
nice.
spirituality as you choose.
Beautiful. I love it, and divinely timed, I'm sure. And what do you what's coming next for you? I feel like you're going through another shift, and it's kind of like, so I'm just curious. Well, what are you feeling that's happening for you?
I'm going to be moving away from having individual conversations with people. I have been seeing that that's going to be ending, and going to be moving more towards teaching and less about individual guidance. I do know that's true. But other than that, I don't know. I know it's
Nice.
shifting. That's amazing you picked up on it, but I'm just going to, like, I wonder what's going to happen next. At that point.
I love it. I love it. So the teaching, is that going to be like online? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're rather than in person? Okay.
Some of it might be in retreat form.
Yeah.
Some of it might be online. I I'm going to allow what unfolds, but I do know it's going to be moving more into a teaching role.
Nice. Yeah. Which is, I'm finding the same. It's like when I read some of the Akashic records, I don't want to just sit there and read their records. I want to guide them to build a deeper connection with their own energy, their own vibration, because I don't want people to keep coming back to me and needing me for anything, right?
You're
I
not the
feel like,
maid.
yeah, just that's why I love, mentoring so much. It's like I'm guiding people to new modalities, new lights, new way of beings, changing careers. Just I feel like it's such a beautiful time to go through these shifts and be open to it. And as you talked about retreats, I also been feeling a nudge where majority of my work is online, but I'm getting I run a solo retreat in Glastonbury a couple of weeks ago. I'm getting a nudge that more and more of this teaching, this training is also going to be done in person. I don't know if you're getting something similar in the retreats, and because I feel like with COVID and all the rest of it, we've kind of got used to not always meeting in person, and that still works. But I'm getting a nudge where we shift to more community based
Yeah,
and more.
we need to people again. We need to be
Yeah,
with people. I'm lucky enough to have been to the um, retreat that Sri Sri Ravi Shankar created in North Carolina and done a few of his silent retreats. and where he personally was leading it. And just the energy of noticing other human beings, how that energy interacts, how when Sri Sri walked in the room, how the energy would shift. It was almost like a riff. It was, I was just observing. I wasn't, doing anything but observing. But that's what I think we need to get a little more of in this world, is the togetherness where we can see how we are conjoined, and where we really, we can see how much we affect each other just by simply breathing the same air.
Yeah. And it's like when I run the retreat, just people being in the same space, the vibration is just lifted because we're all in that same space. I mean, the same, if I'm doing an online training or, running a webinar or whatever, I feel the space and the heat, but it's just, I don't know, something different about being in person.
Well, we're humans. We're
Yeah.
we're literally biologically created to connect on the energetic level
Yeah.
because we're tribal. We just forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're remembering more. Yeah, we're remembering many things, but even the land you're on, because I was on Glastonbury, and the land is such a big part of it too. It's just like there's just something to it. There's just a co-creation between the land, between the people there. It's just like divinely timed. I'm feeling more and more called to do that sort of thing. So
It is true. We're finally paying attention to the land again.
yeah,
And it's wonderful to travel and to feel the difference in vibration in different areas of the world. And just, it's like you said, being of this world, being here is the gift, because you get to hone your ability to feel.
yeah,
We all think that the problem is us, but no, it's not. It's that we're not focusing on other opportunities, shall we say.
yeah, or just being right. We're just not focused on
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
just
We're getting to
present.
feel,
Yeah,
the feeling of the moment. When you were speaking earlier, I was remembered there's a piece on our property that we own that's a vortex, and I stumbled into it one day, and I went, "Oh, this is different."
I love it.
I mean, how many people would notice that? They may notice just kind of maybe a little gravitational shift or change, but or going out and to the southwest and feeling, how intense the shifts are from one place to the
Yeah,
next.
and even it's like in my garden, there's a really big tree, and it's like whenever I hug that tree, I know it's meant, it's there to hold my space. It kind of overwatches the house, and it's just when you just
Mm-hmm.
connect to the land differently, and it's like I record all my podcasts in this space, and again, I feel like there's a portal here. I do all my readings and mentorship, and I love just doing it from the kitchen because the windows are so big, and I can see the garden and the side, and again, because you do the healing in that space, you open a deeper portal, and the land is just so
Yeah,
holds your
morphic
space
field,
differently. Yeah,
as they say. You're creating the morphic field of your own thing, just through sheer repetition.
yeah, it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
you mentioned you wanted to share something with us before we began.
Oh, yeah. It's the method, because when we had our first conversation, we were focusing on getting unstuck. And granted, this was 2 years ago, but I did come up with a very, again, Sally shortcut, come up with a very simple set of things you can do if you get into a mental loop, when you start overthinking.
Yep.
It is called the trust method, TRUST. T stands for time box the loop, meaning do not make it extend for like say, I get to think about this between A and B, and anything outside of that, I'm not going to think about this. Just give your brain a rest. That way you'll allow the ability of something else to download. Because a lot of people who ruminate on stuff realize they can go to sleep and wake up in the morning and come up with a real decision. Well, we're shortcutting that.
Mm.
You get out of your own way for a second and stop thinking about it. So T is for time box loop. time box the loop.
Yeah.
R is for reframe wrong as data. We talked about that. So many people are so afraid to make a mistake that they're going to hyper
Yeah.
overthink. What could happen? What could happen? No. Whenever you mess up, oh, well, we know now how not to do it. Let's try a different way. Right? The next one is you. Use your body. I mean, that was a little bit of a stretch about using your body, but use your body as a decider, because your body already knows. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of neuro studies about this,
Yeah.
how your body actually knows what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
You and I know this. Our bodies will warn us ahead of time when we're messing up.
It's such a
So
powerful best. Yeah.
it definitely is. I mean, wow, I am so thankful that I have access to that. The S in trust is for make it not such a big deal. S for shrink the stakes. Every freaking decision isn't the end of the world, right?
True. Very true.
So shrink the stakes. And T is tether every decision to your values. Give it a fence. Give it a box. Does this fit in the box? No. Then I'm not going to do it this way, right? So you want to sit down and understand what's true for you before you try to, because I've noticed this about sensitive people. They tend to be chameleons and they'll fit themselves into anything, whether it's right for them or not. And
Beautiful.
this will prevent that. And it's just a simple framework to get yourself out of this spiral of thought.
Love it. So simple, but yes, so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. So
Certainly.
Sally,
And I'm free gift to your guests. I'm going to give them a downloadable PDF that explains it all.
I love it. I love it. We'll include that in the show notes. So Sally will include all your stuff in the show notes, the links, etc. But what's the best way for people to reach out and connect? What does that look like? What would you recommend?
Well, if you want to get a private session with me before I stop doing them, go to sallyreid.com and just follow the links to get yourself a diagnostic session. And I will go through and help you understand the blueprint, essentially, of what's going on.
Beautiful.
And if you, just get the PDF, and that's a good way to start. Just start with the free PDF.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Sally, thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for coming back and shining your light.
Thank
Sending
you.
love and light out to so many people. And if this episode resonated, please let us know. Please like, comment. And Sally, I'm going to hand over to you to any final last words you want to share with us.
The one thing that really helped me when I was caught in the world is coming at me so fast I can't understand it is I actually have the power to say, hold it. And I didn't realize I did. So everybody says, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. If you don't know how to change the way you look at things, how are you going to change them?
True.
So just knowing that you can say, hold it, is the first step.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. So simple, so wise. Sally, thank you for being here, sending you so much love and light. And yeah, everybody that's listening, truly hope you felt the love in this episode and sending your love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And bye for now.
Thank you so much for having me on again. And I really appreciate your wisdom and the fact that you are so dedicated in sharing with the world so they can grow and learn too.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.